Good evening and welcome. Today is Wednesday, October the 16th, 2019, and this is the City of Anderson Board of Architectural Review. First item on the agenda, addenda. Anything?
Nothing else to add tonight.
All right, then we'll move right into the public hearings. We have a great many tonight, but reports are good and straightforward, so we'll be able to get through them. We'll give Amanda a moment here. First item being BAR 1839. Jeffrey.
Yes. The applicant has been before the board two previous times for approvals related to the renovation of the office building at 201 North Main Street in the downtown historic district. There's a window request. They've taken off the drive-through at the back, and so they have been before us multiple times, received multiple approvals for the changes at this property. The applicant is now back seeking approval for paint changes for the building. You have the color chips up there that are being passed around. So it's a two-tone color scheme. The colors here on the screen are a little different than what you have there. It's a light gray and a darker gray. And you just see different portions of the building that they are proposing to paint each color. As you can tell, it will be good to kind of fill in some of the trim around the windows where they put the new windows in, so it'll help all that blend in with the rest of the building. And so again, the general idea of what they're looking to do. So the colors that are listed in the staff report are the names are incorrect. The names and the chips that you have up there are the correct ones. When reviewing this request, the board should focus on the standards set forth in Chapter 10, Design Guidelines for Colors. Following sections apply. It states to use colors to tie together the entire storefront, and when choosing a color, consider the context or major colors on the surrounding buildings. The board must decide if the proposed improvements meet the above criteria. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have for staff, and the applicant is represented here tonight as well.
Very good. The two-tone breakout accentuates the architectural details like we've seen in the Johnson building. But my question is, the cornice appears to be a different color? 3 colors or 2 colors?
2 colors.
It's 2 colors.
Okay.
Base and corners are the same.
Okay.
And then for the rest of the building, I don't know.
Right. Just how it printed out. Very good.
Yeah.
Comments, questions, concerns?
Very dry.
Looks very good.
Yep. Another good job. All right. So with that, is there a motion to approve? A motion from Amanda, second from Andy. Anything further? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Next, we'll move on to BAR 1934. This is a revisit from last month with additional information, correct?
That is correct. The applicant came before the board last month for several changes to the property at 2104 East North Avenue in the North Anderson Historic District. Again, the property is a single-family residence. At the meeting last month, he got approval to change out the windows. He also got approval to change the garage door from a double garage or 2 single garage doors to 1 larger centralized garage door. What was not approved at that request was the change to the window location, and so because he did not have drawings showing what he was proposing to do. And so what you have today is you have a double window, a single window, and a double window. They're making modifications to the kitchen, and based on their new layout in the kitchen, they don't feel the windows work very well to lay out with that space. And so they are seeking to change that to this layout. And so you'd have single window, 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 and then this double window remains as is. So you see the top and bottom with the changes. And so it'll be the same simulated divided light window with the grid patterns as shown on the screen. When reviewing this application, the board should focus on the standards set forth in Chapter 3 of the Residential Design Guidelines, which are for rehabilitation of historic resources. Following sections apply to this request. Preserve the size and shape of historically significant windows and doors. Repair a deteriorated window instead of replacing it. And replace a window or door that is damaged beyond repair with one similar to that seen historically. Once again, the board must decide that the proposed changes meet the above criteria. I'm happy to answer any questions you have for staff. The applicant is not present tonight.
Essentially, what's before us is simply the relocation of the windows.
Right.
Because we've already proved the windows themselves.
Yes.
Any idea as to whether there's going to be enough brick to make this adjustment?
He's going to match the brick. I don't know if it will be enough from what he has here to use the brick that's currently on the house to do it. I assume he'll have to, between the garage changes where he has to add brick on the sides there, and the window changes, I assume he will have to get a little more brick at least, but it should match what's out there.
This is the side yard or the back?
This is a side yard facing Henry. Henry's the side street.
Yeah, he's on the corner.
And so this is on the corner. So this, you look at this from looking at it. Well, I'm almost in the street here. So
Okay.
And those upper windows remain.
yes, the upper windows do not change, just that ground floor level. And again, it's all based on the interior remodel of the kitchen area in that section of the building.
Concerns, comments?
I have a couple of concerns on this, and I appreciate the architects would tell me their feelings. One thing, you know, the light that the windows in the older houses let in is so wonderful. These are smaller windows. They're shorter windows. And it's hard, let's see, does it fall? It looks like they've moved it over so that it's sort of off-centered. Architecturally, it doesn't feel right. You do see that as you drive down, you know, it's not in a place, it's on a corner, so you see it as you drive by. And my other concern was matching the brick. It's
Right.
because it is an older home, and I don't know if this, I don't think this is a contributing home to the neighborhood, to the historic district. It was built, I don't know what year, but it's built by a builder who built several homes in Lindley Park in the, you know, 40s and 50s.
Right. And for clarification, by contributing, you mean when it was first designated as a historic district,
Correct.
certain homes were identified as architecturally significant to the point to where they were recognized.
Yeah. Do you remember, are there kitchen cabinets below the windows now?
I don't know. I'm not sure the answer to that.
I can tell you exactly. The house, the single largest window, that is in a breakfast room, the one next to that.
Single.
Oh,
But I think it's being reconfigured.
Right, which is understandable. And so then the double window, the shorter double window, is over a sink.
I think I'm okay with the window placement in the new arrangement, but I'm also concerned with the brick. It's going to look patched. I think regardless of how well you match the brick, you're going to be able to tell that it's kind of patched.
If the windows, do you think it would help if they were made larger? You would have less brick to patch.
Mm-hmm.
It would be more appealing if they were made larger so that the windowsill on the bottom matched up with the double windows.
Right.
Be a lot more appealing. But we don't know what's on the inside,
Right.
if they can do that.
And also the window to the far left there, smaller
It's a powder room.
powder room, so that wouldn't be, that would not be able to be really enlarged.
Would you typically require a brick submittal to verify that it matches
No,
existing? Or you just take match existing for?
Match existing as much as possible, you know, and a lot of it depending upon the location. Here, a little more concerned because it is on the corner and visible. But, but of course, balancing that with, they're looking to update the home, continue its use, and a revitalization to that aspect of the neighborhood, so we don't want to hamper that. It's a balancing act. You know, it's really what I see here, because there is a concern, as we've seen before, with the brick, whether it's going to match.
Can we look at the picture again, the photograph of the, because it is a good thing that right now you have half a window, under the roof, one roof line and
Yeah.
or 3/4 in the other.
Okay.
So that, like you say, the placement, bringing it all under the same
Yeah.
roof is good. I just hate that they're going smaller.
Jeff,
I don't.
the photo from last month that showing the shrubbery pretty much obstructing the view.
That's a view from in the street, looking at it.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I'm very familiar with this house, and if they're going to leave this little entry garden with the fence and everything, that would help. And it actually, I guess it's the way the picture was taken, the dining room window, the double window closest to the corner, the shrubbery does not cover that. So this actually would go right in. Both of the two new windows would be in that
Yeah.
entrance.
But however, what the drawing doesn't show that the photo does, you're talking about shutters.
Yeah.
And depending upon what they're looking to do shutter-wise, that would
And looking at
mask.
an overlay, the large window over the small one, the shutter may cover the new brick in that area.
And is this correct that, in other words, there are going to be no, it's just going to be a 1/1?
What did we approve?
It says
Jeff?
as it was drawn.
All the windows are supposed to match the original existing grid pattern.
Oh,
Okay.
6/6,
Well, it's
or whatever fits within the.
Yeah.
4 different
Okay.
kinds on there, so each window is gonna match what is existing now.
Okay. Even though the drawing shows it 1/1, it's
Right.
going to be exact, going to be what we have originally. The shutters will certainly help.
Yeah.
I wish the applicant were here to tell me what they're going to do about shutters with the new windows.
He's out of state still and coming back and forth, so.
All right, so what are your thoughts? Now, the two singles are pretty close together. I don't know how shutters on each side are going to work there.
Shutters will almost be touching each other.
Could be. But there's a possibility that if we approved with some stipulation regarding shutters, that could address the concerns that we've got regarding brick. Thoughts along those lines as to how the shutter placement might be?
I think that's
There's actually room for shutters. Like there'd be room for shutters. And you'd have bricks exposed between the shutters.
I mean, the biggest space is going to be the small powder room
Yeah.
powder room window.
Right there.
It's a lot of area to fill in back there when you take those double windows out.
Hmm?
To put a trellis there.
Yeah, that's, exactly. Yeah. All right, Jeff, again, the straight-on photo showing the, okay, again, see, you've got a lot of shrubbery there.
It's pretty well hidden.
And I
And-
think keep it there because they're, yeah.
I mean, let's face it, the applicant is gonna be very interested in having the best match as possible.
Right.
So if they simply prioritize the use of the old brick where the double window is currently, that can minimize the effect of the patch job and trying to match the brick.
And,
I mean, I want
can we
us
make
to
a
work with them.
motion to, can we include in the motion that, that we recommend shutters to help with that transition of the old brick and the new brick?
I think so. I mean, I think it's reasonable in that there's shutters on this house and all around, Jeff.
Yes, I believe so.
So,
So I would think that they're going to continue with the shutters. So we could certainly include part of the.
Appropriate.
Sorry, Jeff. Andy?
I said these shutters are really inappropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the same size.
So how do we want to address shutters? I think it's a good use of existing material, the existing style, appropriate or not, because there's always that question with shutters, but to minimize the negative effects.
My main concern is the brick.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna see this thing of new brick and different mortar color.
All right, so what would the proposal be as to shutters? We can certainly include within motion prioritizing the use of the existing brick on the far left side with the removal of the double window and down to the small powder room. But how do we want to address the shutters? More importantly, with these two smaller windows.
Well, and the powder room is under the, I don't think, does it have a shutter on it now?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the current double window over the sink.
Maybe we could state
Yeah,
that.
the powder room you're talking about would be here,
Well, it's here, it's staying where it is.
but there's not one there.
Yeah, there is.
There's not a window there.
Can
Can
we,
you show the whole side?
to the left of that shutter.
it doesn't go far enough back.
Yeah, this one doesn't, the existing is not showing. Window back there.
It goes,
Get Jeff.
and there's a garage.
There you go.
Oh, well, it doesn't, there's the window, but it does not have shutters.
Farther back.
But there's a walkway in between.
Doesn't show a walkway here.
The back, that's a back door.
Back door.
Within there. That's just an inset. And
There you go.
there.
Okay.
So the new window would be close to that gutter. Or
Are
downspout.
they taking the door out?
No, actually, the new windows, which is a good thing, can we go back to the other view? It does fall under, you know, now you have this window half under, half.
Mm-hmm.
And now both windows will be,
Right. But the one on the far
This
left.
one is showing
it'll
right
be,
in here,
it's not.
but if this drawing is correct, it's not far beyond where that comes into the roof. This must be where the door is. The door will be.
Oh, is he closing that up?
Taking the door out.
Yeah, the door would be kind of over here.
The door stays like it is. That smaller window just goes.
We've had no discussion
The door.
about doing anything to the door.
So this
I
is a
think
new
this
window.
is-
Right, so this would be replacing that. So you'd have the door and then the other window, and the other small window would be off the page here, over here. So the door, that other small window would be over here.
So this is not the powder room window, this is a new window.
That's correct, Jeff, a new window. But if that new window had, if all three of the new windows had shutters on both sides,
Well, or at least the two
Yeah, at least the
that are
two.
under this same roof line, because you still have that powder room window over there that is under this lower roof.
okay.
Can we request that they duplicate the shutters on these two main windows on the side?
Sure,
Already exist.
right.
I
See
think
anything
on
about
one
this
of them, there's a electrical, in the picture, there's an electrical, pipe or something that goes off up that I don't think.
The electrical is further back here with this other window. We're all up here.
But I mean, on,
It's further forward than this, even.
and just leave that other window with no shutters.
Yeah, so small.
All right, so what I'm hearing is we're inclined to go ahead and approve, condition that old brick be prioritized on the far left side where the new small window is, and that the two new smaller windows have shutters on both sides, consistent with what's there. Does that make us happy?
Yes.
And I mean, because it just is a very visual as you go
Mhm.
down that corner. If it had a house next to it, it wouldn't be an issue at all.
So is that your motion, Amanda?
I'd rather not make the motion.
Okay. Does someone care to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the windows as requested with the addition of shutters on the two single windows on the main side of the wall, not necessarily requiring shutters on the small window towards the rear of the house.
And prioritizing,
Prioritize the bricks in the open area between the small window and the two big single windows, using the shutters to cover up some of the new bricks that are used to make the opening proper
I got it.
for the two single windows.
okay?
They're covered.
Good motion. Is there a second? We have a second from Mary Lou. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Very good. And, I mean, I think it was appropriate to have that thorough discussion and to, look at all the aspects. So as to make it work for the applicant, but still meet our guidelines and our requirements and mission. Next, we have BAR 1939.
The applicant is requesting approval for exterior changes at 320 East River Street in the Anderson Historic District. The property is law office of David Stoddard. The applicant is seeking approval to install a black wrought iron handrail on the front porch. Be just on the one side, on the right side, like you see there. Described as half-inch square stock with 1-inch channel and edge with a half-inch cap rail to be powder-coated black. But this is the railing. It's not mounted on there now. The first picture is from yesterday, so it's not mounted currently, but it's been created. Powder-coated black, and again, you can see the railing there. When reviewing this portion of the application, the board should focus on the standards set forth in Chapter 3, Rehabilitation of Historic Resources. Section regarding porches applies here. Policy says to preserve a porch in its original condition and form, maintain an original porch when feasible, do not remove an original porch, maintain the existing location, shape, details, and post of a porch, and missing or deteriorated decorative elements should be replaced to match existing elements. Once again, the board must decide if the proposed changes meet the above criteria. I'm happy to answer any questions you have for staff, and the applicant is here tonight as well.
And I take it this is for ease of access?
Yes.
And continuing a wooden railing would be difficult with the obvious concrete steps and,
It's also safety, just keep it followed, that's procedures, I've had people complain that they need to rail.
while a wooden railing, of course, would be preferable, I think in light of the concrete structure, wooden railings really wouldn't work there.
It'd be difficult to attach it securely to the top of that concrete. What about capping the top of the metal railing with a wood cap, similar to what's on the porch?
It's probably a rounded top, it looks like. It might be difficult to do that.
And he's gonna, he doesn't have to go in there, he's gonna make a rounded out.
Can we see the picture of the front, the original one of the, does it say Y? I recently saw a similar situation, and they had, almost the same exact type house, and they had put that railing going up the middle so that it didn't meet either of the wooden. It didn't take away. It wasn't like you were attaching it, the wood to the historic feeling of, the metal to the historic feeling of the wood. It was in the middle, and that way also, particularly since this is a business, people could use it going up and down, left, right-handed, and it, in this case, would tie in with the light fixtures, and this appears that it's wide enough that that would be a consideration.
Reasonable idea, yeah. Help,
Yeah, the only issue is that, from the applicant's perspective, not to speak for him, but is that this is already constructed in this manner, and I don't know how that would match. It would have to be redone to go up the stairs like that, I think. So,
It's almost like you want a pair of them. They're going to be on the side. Would it be that difficult to
modify?
yeah, to model?
I have to talk to him. I'd be happy to try. And I don't mind probably paying to redo it. We actually discussed doing it up the middle, and I don't remember why we did.
How wide is the stair? Do you know that?
Pretty wide though. It's
Probably 6 feet.
I don't see a problem with somebody going on either side or something on the middle. It's fine.
To Amanda's point, when you put it in the middle, it doesn't compete with the architectural details of the house, the wooden railing.
I remember if he was worried. I don't see anything any more secure on the side if he was worried about it being secure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
That concrete could be a little older.
I don't think
More
it's
brittle.
going to lean it on. I don't think it's using that wooden post as support.
No, I don't think it's,
according to the picture,
it didn't look like it was utilizing it. It's just moving it away from it, Amanda's point, to where,
And could it even be braced against the first where the concrete stops, and there's a wooden base to the before you step on
the porch.
That first
Perhaps
tree.
it could somehow be secured to that. and even be, more, be sturdier.
What are your thoughts, David?
I mean, if you would approve the middle,
Mm-hmm.
you may have to have another meeting, but if you approve it, and it can't be done, I'll come back.
Okay.
But I mean, I'll be glad to try that, and then
Sure.
I wouldn't have to come back if it works.
Other thoughts?
Would you look at the option of doing either the one in the middle or matching on both sides? Just thinking from an expense, how that would work out.
Probably, I mean, since he's only looking to do one side, it'd be more expensive to duplicate.
Yeah.
It's probably about the same. He's probably gonna have to just redo the whole, chunk what he did.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
But, I don't know, it's not.
Okay.
He's probably gonna use that material or something.
Sure. So, if you're okay with that and amending your application for putting it down the middle,
I kinda like the middle better in a way than having one on the side.
sure. All right, so with that, we have a motion.
I'll be glad to.
We have a motion from Amanda.
I move that we approve to have the wrought iron railing put in the middle of the steps.
Excellent. Second, from Bill. Anything further? All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. So David, you're set to go. If things change, Jeff will keep the application open. You can come back next month. Moving on to BAR 1940.
I have one more picture here. The city is proposing to make exterior alterations to the viaduct bridge on North Main Street. The changes are designed to improve the safety of the area. As of this morning, the billboard has been removed and is no longer there. The city is now seeking, as a result of that, to add fencing on top of the bridge and possibly another gate on the right side to match the existing gate on the left side. The existing gate was approved by the board some time back. We may have actually approved two, not knowing ownership information at that time, but the request tonight is to approve a matching gate on the opposite side of the bridge for that walkway. So it would match that right there. And then second, this is a little hard to see in the picture, but several years ago, we approved the fencing here. When the sidewalk changes were made here, we would like to get approval of the same type of fencing on top of the viaduct bridge, just to go over the top of that. As a security feature, make it a little higher so there's no problems with falling or anything like that. And then lastly, these spaces are pretty wide in here. At one point, there was some lattice work that was placed behind there as kind of a safety measure. Doesn't go all the way across. We'd also add a little screening at the back, on the back side. You wouldn't really see it from the road, just as a safety measure, just so people can't kind of poke through and not have anything fall through the bridge there as well. And so really it's a three-part request. The gate to match left and right, and then the fencing on top, and then a little safety screen behind the bridge that you see there. The downtown design guidelines do not include language about fencing and site walls. So when reviewing this application, the board may focus on the standards set forth in Chapter 5 of the residential design guidelines as a guide for discussion. The following sections would apply in this case. The policy states that a fence or site wall should be in character with those used traditionally and relate to the principal structure on the lot. Appropriate materials for fences that can be seen from the public right-of-way are wrought iron or wood picket. The rest don't necessarily apply to this request. And so once again, the board must decide the proposed improvements meet the above guidelines. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have for staff.
Certainly. I mean, certainly matching fences make sense. With the billboard gone, you have safety issues, and wanting to reuse the same design further down the street also makes sense. And I think the mesh or whatever is decided on the lower end of the concrete is also a necessity. Any concerns, other comments?
What will that safety material be? It won't be that white lattice.
No, I'm thinking, and talk with Kevin, who's in our building maintenance department, and talking more like a metal kind of a wire.
Similar to what's on the rail that's going to be mounted on top of the concrete. Similar.
I think it'll,
Right.
I don't want to say chicken wire, it'll be more substantial than that, but sort of probably a vertical, little squares, kind of metal fencing. So, I do not have exact details about that, though.
I mean, I would assume probably something very similar
Yeah.
to the interior
Mm-hmm.
panels.
Yeah,
Sure, a 4-inch wall won't pass through any of the openings.
Right.
All right, so with that, is there a motion? We have a motion from Mary Lee to approve.
To approve?
to approve it, I think it's great. I love him.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Second from Amanda. Anything further? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Now on to BAR 1941.
The applicant is requesting approval for exterior alterations at 115 Federal Street in the downtown historic district. The property is the home of Carolina Barn House. Now, the applicant is seeking to add a new shade canopy on the front of the building. Let's see. So, it did not copy very well, but. So, from above, so you have the building here and the road here. Basically, you have two metal posts here and here, black shade canopy that would attach at 2 points on the building here. The space is roughly 20 by 25. Be two 10-foot high, 4-inch steel pipes. Where it's close to the road, be placed about 1.5 feet back from the sidewalk. And again, supported on the building at 2 points, just in the wall of the building there. You kind of see front, looking at it from the street, you can see the two posts and the shade canopy on the top there. So there's a lot of outside activity there and trying to provide some shade out in that area for their customers. So, when reviewing this application, the board should focus on the standards set forth in Chapter 9 of the Downtown Design Guidelines, which are for awnings and canopies. The following sections apply to this request. Policy states that an awning or canopy should be similar to those seen historically, should be compatible in material and construction to the style of the building, and should be mounted to accentuate character-defining features. Once again, the board must decide if the proposed changes meet the above criteria. Happy to answer any questions you have for staff, and the applicant is here tonight as well.
How tall are the posts?
A 10-foot high post is what is listed in the application. So it'll be right in this area here of the building. You can see where the sign is here and where it is in relation to the sign. So a 10-foot high post with the canvas material hung from that. So, and then again, 2 points in the wall.
Looks like it's going to cover the bottom portion of the sign. It's painted on the wall?
I think it'll be just below this sign here.
Yeah, it should, just below the sign for measurement.
Okay.
Is that a 10-foot high garage door for scale?
No, that's much, that's drop door.
That's higher. So,
Yeah.
you know how high that window is?
Yeah, that's a drop door, it's 15.
I mean, at this point here.
That
Oh,
point,
that way.
that's about 10 feet.
Okay.
It's about halfway in between the existing one and,
Okay.
I mean, and I've got to ask, why in the front on this side as opposed to over the garage door? Just curious.
we need to leave the garage door open for trucks and deliveries.
Uh-huh.
So that's why we're gonna start it at the edge of the door and bring it over. So we can have a covered seating area for shade for the customers.
So you can have seating outside.
Yeah, when we're open, we have picnic tables and,
Picnic table here.
bistro tables out in the front.
But I need to leave access to that garage door open for material.
Okay.
And of course, there's no back, it's right at the property line at the back of the building, so.
Okay. And far enough off the sidewalk?
It's Central Business District, so there's 0 setbacks.
Okay.
So,
Comment, concern, question?
It's a very attractive building in real life, and I think it almost will,
Further enhance?
yeah.
Make the front more usable.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel it actually is appropriate for that style of, I know they need shade out there, because I've been there and you need it. But do we think that type of awning is appropriate?
Well, you know, if you recall when the building first came before us to paint the brick, you know, there was discussion, could we paint it? And the discussion was this building was basically an old warehouse.
It is.
And we went ahead and approved the painting of the brick for it, you know, help further put it in use. And while, you know, this particular canopy isn't typical of a warehouse, nonetheless, it further puts the property in use. And, you know, we've seen other unique features that enhance the usability of downtown property.
Well, it has an industrial look, and it doesn't look, it's not like permanently attached.
Right. It's very light. Yeah. Minimalist.
You know, and what else would we do? I mean,
I
you know,
don't have any other
I mean,
ideas of what.
you certainly wouldn't want some arbor structure, anything
Exactly.
with too much details, and you wouldn't want some metal corrugated. And this is, you know, a simple,
It's under tension, right? So it'll be a
Yeah,
tight.
we're going for as minimal as possible.
Right.
So hopefully what is there is almost invisible.
I think your drawing
Yeah.
maybe probably doesn't do it justice. I don't think your columns are going to be that thick. I mean, a 4-inch column's not very big.
Right.
That way.
Yeah,
It's
but
going to be very thin. You almost won't be able to see it. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but we're able to provide shade at the same time.
Yeah.
And the actual material of the awning is the, like a filtered shade material. that you
Fabric.
put outside.
Black solar mesh.
Yeah, it's filter
Solar
shade.
mesh.
Just shade. It's not gonna stop the water. It won't hold water.
No, it's a permanent membrane. Yeah, so we want the water to, so.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's mainly just for sunshade.
very nice. So do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve?
Motion from Bill, second from Billy. Anything further? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Very good, sir.
Cheers, thank
Thank
you.
you. Now to BAR 1942.
The applicant is requesting approval for exterior alterations at 110 Federal Street in the Downtown Historic District. The property is home of the Anderson Arts Council. The applicant is seeking to add a new awning over an existing door for the Market Theater Bay. The awning would be a traditional canvas awning in green. So just a regular awning, green canvas over that door. It'll be over these doors right here. Same as the last application, we would look at Chapter 9 for design guidelines for awnings and canopies. Again, it should be compatible in material and construction to the style of the building, and should be mounted to accentuate character-defining features. Once again, the board must decide the proposed changes meet the above criteria. Happy to answer any questions you have for staff, and the applicant is here tonight as well.
Great. Canvas awning, green, the accents to the Art Center are in green as well. No graphics on top. Any concerns? Motion? The motion from Mary Lou to approve. Second, Andy. Anything further? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Now on to BAR 1943.
The applicant is requesting approval for new signs on the building at 142 North Main Street in the Downtown Historic District. The second floor of the property will be the new home of Labella and Company. The applicant is seeking to add several signs on the property. You have this in your. So the top one here is a hanging sign at the front of the building. This is an either or. She's not sure which way she wants to go. This sign would utilize an existing chains that are hanging there. It'd be a little more central on the building, really more in front of the Blake and Brady doors. This one would be on a bracket. You can see the bracket there. It'll be a little further over to the right, closer to where her entrance door would be to the stairs to go up to the second floor. The material sample that you have being passed around is what she's looking at in terms of the material. So that would be an either-or request if the board would so see fit. Then on the front door on Main Street, a vinyl graphic on the front door. There's also a back door on the second floor, same vinyl graphic there. And then what we would call a wall sign advertising on the side street that she's advertising that she's upstairs in that space as well. So really it's 1, 2, 3, 4 signs on the building that she's asking for, again with the possibility of getting both of these approved and choosing one when she's decided on the direction. Again, you can see the bracket for that proposed front sign, and then you have the dimensions of the signs on this other page as well. And we're reviewing this request. The board should focus on the standards set forth in Chapter 8, which are design guidelines for signs. The following policies apply. First policy states to design a sign to be in balance with the overall character of the property. Appropriate signs include, in this case, all of the signs proposed: flush-mounted wall sign, window signs, and a hanging sign. And the sign should be in character with the material, color, and detail of a building. The board must decide if the proposed changes meet the above criteria. A sign permit will be required prior to installation of the sign. Happy to answer any questions that you have for staff. The applicant is not present tonight.
Let me point out that while 4 signs are being requested, one is for a front door, one is for a back door. And we've got the hanging sign for pedestrian traffic. The wall sign, or the one on the balcony, is actually upstairs, where the upstairs door sign is not going to even be visible from the street. Correct. Okay. So it's not a whole bunch of signs littering the space. It's simply logical location. My concern, Jeff, on the options here, does Blake and Brady approve the possible chain sign more in line with their entrance?
Yes, I mean, that would be utilizing what's there already. I've not got any feedback from them other than that, so it's using the existing one. I think her preference would be to do the one with the bracket, but since the chains are already there.
The bracket's certainly attractive.
Right.
Those are my comments.
And this is the view of the back door, so it really would not be visible at all from the street, so.
Do you have a view, Jeff, of, you know, we approved a sign that is on the fence. Right. So, you have the top of that? Can we view, because the sign on the balcony would hang.
So there's the balcony. The sign that's mounted on the fence would be the next panel over.
Okay. And
So her sign would
my
sit here
variance will be right
up
there.
above. So the issue with this sign is I think it would often be blocked, and so it would be hard for people to see because there would be cars in the way. And so I think that's why she prefers the upper location. But I understand we did approve that sign, that's why I took a picture of it, and I thought it would come up. And so, but that's her reasoning is want the bottom sign to be blocked from view. So.
But that lower only has the street address on it presently, correct?
Right, this is from
Right.
2 days ago, so.
Okay. while it's amenable to signage, it's not being used as a sign.
Right, it has not ever been since we approved it. I don't believe there's ever been any logo type information on that. So.
I was just concerned that they were on top of each
Right.
other, that it was,
Sure.
they're not. I'm not, is this the thickness and everything that the sign would be?
That's how it's been relayed to me, yes.
I don't believe we've ever, have we,
What is this material?
I don't remember ever.
Really?
Looks like an aluminum. It's definitely metal on the outside.
Mhm.
And it's like a plastic, metal sandwiching
Yeah.
type of plastic.
But the exterior is metal.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we've approved similar to that under like an Alumicore label,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Very rigid.
Jeff, on the option sign on the bracket, in the picture, it looks like it's too low, but is there enough room there?
It's not to scale, I
That's
take it.
not to scale, we would make sure that there's appropriate headroom for our requirements, yes. But,
Anything else? Motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve all 4 signs and leave the option up to the property owner. Approve all 4 signs and leave the option on the hanging sign up to the property owner, so they could do it either way.
And the specific point there is the property owner, so we're not dictating whoever the landlord is gets to decide where the sign goes.
yeah, there's a building owner, she's subleasing from Blake and Brooks,
Exactly.
so.
It's because we don't want to get involved in that aspect. All right, so we have a motion from Bill. We have a second from Billy. Anything further? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Now to BAR 1944.
The applicant is requesting approval for new paint on the property at 1600 North Boulevard in the Boulevard Historic District. Property is a single-family residence. The house is currently light green with dark green shutters and taupe trim. The applicant is seeking approval to change the body color of the house to super white with a stone cutter front door. The trim would also be super white. The applicant has 4 choices for the shutter color. She would like them to be approved and allow her to decide between them at a later date. Those colors are Kentucky Haze, Exhale, Gull Wing Gray, and Whale Gray, and those colors are being passed around. When reviewing this portion of the application, the board should focus on the standards set forth in Chapter 3, Rehabilitation of Historic Resources. The following sections apply to this request. Policy states to preserve primary historic building materials whenever feasible. Using the historic color scheme is encouraged. Base or background colors should be muted, and reserve the use of bright colors to accent building features only. The board must decide the proposed changes meet the above criteria. Happy to answer any questions you have for staff, and Moira Albergotti is the applicant. She is not present tonight. She's out of town.
The color choices appropriate for this house style and design. Not unusual to approve options for homeowners to do, especially with accent details such as the shutter. And we're not talking about the body of the house, we're talking about the shutters, all of which seem to be very appropriate with the other proposed color scheme. Concerns, comments, questions?
Very attractive.
Okay, do we have a motion? Motion from Amanda, second from Andy. Anything further? All in favor?
Aye.
And finally tonight, BAR 1945.
The applicant is requesting approval for new, all right, switch pages here. The applicant is requesting approval to install a new stairway on the rear of the building at 314 South Main Street in the downtown historic district. You've seen this before. Tracy Star Home is going on the first floor here. They're getting ready to renovate the second floor, and so they need the stairway at the back for access. So this is what we're looking at for the rear entry as of today. Very shaky landing and steps there, and then nothing going up to the second floor currently. And what they're looking for now would be a black metal stairway with 3 landings. Stairs provide access to the first and second floors to the grade level at the rear of the building. The stairs will be steel construction painted black. The stairs meet building codes as submitted. So again, access from the second floor with a landing down to the first floor and then back down to the grade below level here. And from the back of the building, so you have the landing, you got the stairs not quite to the edge of the wall. There was a question about the electrical service on the building next door, but it does appear that there is a little bit of offset there between the wall of that building and the stairway. And then, of course, stairs going down to the front and down to the bottom.
So there's a balcony across the back?
Yes. So you've got a balcony across here. Then you have, doesn't show it very well in here, but you can see another landing here. So you'd access, and now you have a landing here as well. See if there's another picture that shows it better.
Yeah, so it looks like there's actually a lower porch area. Yeah, there it is, a court, as they're calling it.
So we've got, this would be the first floor, with landing and stairs.
Mhm.
Second floor, landing and stairs. Or should we? All right, they're calling it third floor, first, second floor. First floor would be going down to the bottom, but that's not, they're no longer going. At one point, there was some conversation about having space in the bottom of the building, the basement level. That's no longer the case. So it's just going from the second floor, landing on the second floor, landing on the first floor, and then down to ground level to access the parking lot at the back.
And the first floor landing porch is all the way to the end of the building?
So you have it right here. So you have the landing,
Okay.
stairs going up. So up to the second floor, down, landing, and then stairs out to the parking lot.
And the landing has railings all around it?
Yes.
To the first floor, okay.
Yes, you can see the railings
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
This is the first floor level. From the front, it's a little higher in the back. You need the stairs there, but yes, it'd be a railing around that, stairs with the railing, and then larger railing on the other upper floor.
All right. Black metal railing, stairwell to access 2 floors?
And for comparison, this is Rains on Main next door. So something very similar.
Mhm.
Any concerns, comments, questions? The drawings certainly help
Mhm.
answer the questions. Help us move it along. Is there a motion? A motion from Mary Lou, second from Bill. Anything further? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Carries. Belinda has provided us with the minutes from last month's meeting in advance. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to review them. Any comments, concerns, corrections? If not, is there a motion to approve the minutes as submitted?
Motion to approve.
A motion from Billy, second from Andy. Anything further? All in favor?
Aye.
That concludes the agenda. If there's nothing else, motion to adjourn. Thank you, Andy. Second from Bill. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.